Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Seriously, it does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up here, guys. I've been home today. Been feeling a little bit tired and some other things and stuff, and I was asleep with the TV on, and you ever go to sleep with the TV on and you hear something going on and things, and it was an interesting conversation about my quarterback Dak Prescott, and allegedly the Dallas Cowboys had upped their offer to $100 million to Dak Prescott, and they were having a discussion without Jabba the Hutt for Speak for Yourself. They have somebody else sitting in. And it was actually a very, very interesting conversation on how all this is, because the premise was, has Dak Prescott messed up because he didn't take the $100 million deal? Because, of course, guaranteed. And I actually want to go ahead and play this. It'll probably get hit by the YouTube police, but it was an interesting take and actually a great discussion. So let's see if we can listen to it.
Back, Rick Bucher and Jim Jackson in for Whitlock and Wiley. LeVar Arrington and Bucky Brooks are back with us. Let's move to Dallas, where Dak Prescott and the Cowboys remain at an impasse over his new contract. But Dak might be the one holding up the negotiations. Reportedly, when the two sides met last week, the team presented the QB with a deal worth more than $100 million in guaranteed money. But it wasn't enough to entice him to sign. LeVar, is Dak messing up his contract negotiations?
No, I don't believe so. Again, I mentioned on the show yesterday that if we're hearing about the exclusive tag being placed on him, if he were to receive that exclusive tag, he's getting the average of the top 5 quarterbacks in this league, which to me says that it's a short-term solution for a long-term play. I mean, we've also heard people from his camp say that if you're not going to give me the money I want, then I'm going to seek a shorter term contract. Well, a franchise tag of exclusivity is, to me, a compromise and probably a solution for now. So I don't think just yet there's the possibility that it could backfire if they were to not give him that exclusive tag and say, well, go test the market. If you think you're this good, we value you, right, but maybe not at the number you're placing on yourself, then go see if there's another team out there that believes that the number is the number that you're looking for. That could backfire on him.
I would expect, though, that if they're talking about a short-term deal, they're talking about like a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal, somewhere in between that 1-year exclusive and the 5 or 6-year deal that he's probably looking for.
Well, I mean, I think a short-term play is ideal for him. If the new CBA is ratified, it goes through, more TV money comes in.
All
if
right,
he locks himself
before you get that, did he mess up his negotiations?
No. He hasn't messed it up because the leverage comes back to him. Once he gets on this franchise tag, it now flips because what Dak is banking on, well, let me look at what Mike McCarthy has done throughout his career. Oh, Aaron Rodgers, the same Aaron Rodgers that was drafted 24 that no one talked about, that the first couple years he kind of struggled in preseason. We didn't know what he would be. Well, Mike McCarthy figured out a way to straighten it out and help him go and become the best player that we've seen at the position. So maybe Dak is saying, if I get in this system and I elevate my game, the money that I would have signed for would be peanuts on that deal.
Are we saying that Dak Prescott is in Aaron Rodgers?
No, but we're saying what Mike McCarthy has done with previous quarterbacks. Aaron Brooks became a Pro Bowl player under his tutelage. I'm just saying, he has worked wonders with quarterbacks. Maybe Dak is saying, if my game can go up even more, I now get into that $40 million range.
Wait a minute, so you're saying he's holding this back because he thinks that now that you have Mike McCarthy there?
I'm just saying it could be a consideration.
In a short-term play, it certainly could work to his advantage. Absolutely.
And I say, to answer your question, has he messed up his contract negotiations? No, because he hasn't lost anything. What has he lost? At the end of the day, he's going to be able to sign for what he's going to sign for if he does. Okay?
Says the guy who gave up $1 million on a plane in order to get
that's to get my deal. Exactly. Sometimes you have to hold out. And the question I think that we're missing here too is leverage. Okay, how much more leverage does Dak have with the Cowboys than the Cowboys have over him?
Very good point.
And I say that because of this. During the negotiations with Zeke, you had your main guy, your quarterback on the field, so you can get away with that. But if you don't have Dak on the field, how does that bode well moving forward this year for the Cowboys? We're at the early stages of this.
Zeke on the field.
But that's okay, but you don't have your main leader. You don't have your quarterback who in today's world is everything. So as we start to trend down this a little bit more, just keep your eye on that leverage piece to me in regards to how the Cowboys have to evaluate that. It's a lot more, it's a lot easier to play cat and mouse with a running back.
That's true.
That's maybe a key to you winning, but it's a lot harder to play cat and mouse with your franchise quarterback.
That is very
You don't
true.
have a lot of options out there after that.
I'm going to speak for myself and for TJ, who is not here with us today, but he made the point
DeMarcus
that
Lawrence gets a franchise tag for
essentially
the
the
second
Dak
straight year,
would
as
be
everyone
losing
left
money if he took the
Arizona,
exclusive
that
tag
they are not
because he's
close
not
to getting a
the
deal done
guarantee
there.
of $80 million, and that time we thought
They're
it was
working on
$80
it. They're
million
actively
that was being offered
negotiating,
him.
working on it,
This is
trying to get it
$100
done.
million.
And clearly,
But
this
that
does
comes
not
from
seem
where?
to be
Does
the
that come from
case
the
where
Cowboys? Does that
the
come from
Cowboys
Dak?
are just waiting till
All
July
Dak's camp is
11th to
saying
engage
is that
with
it wasn't
DeMarcus Lawrence's agent David
105
Cannon and then get a deal
Nobody
done.
knows
They've been
what the
exchanging
true
proposals. They're
language
working
is,
on
and
it.
unlike
It does sound like the
basketball
latest
players,
offer from the
all
Cowboys
right,
is in the
who, when
$20
you
million
say-
per year
Yeah,
range,
that's a pet
which is
peeve.
at least
When
where it
you
should be
get
for a pass
$100
rusher
million
of his
for
caliber.
NBA,
But they are at an impasse now. From what I'm told, they haven't negotiated for more than a week. The two sides haven't talked. A little bit of a stalemate here. Doesn't mean it's not getting done, but it means someone needs to overcome the hurdle where they're at right now in order to get one of the best players on the Cowboys.
The Cowboys ensure
of a year, 5 year, 6 contract, right? And there are going to be clauses that blocks some of that quote
Guaranteed money.
So we don't really know how much of that $100 million
Okay.
Thank
truly
you.
is guaranteed.
Nonetheless, we look at where Dak is at this point in his career. If he signs even a 4 or 5 year deal, does
That's
that
a
mean
loss.
does that mean he's not going to sign another big deal? That he's not going to have the
But you have
opportunity
to take.
sign?
You
Nothing
have to take where
guaranteed.
you are right now. He played well in a negotiation year for him. He wanted. He felt
8-8?
like he felt like he
8-8 not getting to the
outplayed.
playoffs is a
Again,
big-
I make the
Look,
point.
his numbers, his individual numbers.
And I've made that.
Tony
I've
Romo
made
had
the point
3
that
years
he
of
wasn't
8-8 when he got his.
He did play well in terms of his individual numbers. So there still has to be the conversation of I can't go. Why should I go backwards? I'm already only making $2 million, $3 million a
He
year.
played better
Thank you.
than what he was getting paid. Is he getting? Is he making? And again, this is the difficulty when you say $100 million guaranteed. Okay, over how many years? That's an important part of this.
It could be
equation
4
that
years,
does
which
not
means
come
it's
in.
25 million.
I assume that's 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, it has
Okay.
to be for But I think if you go back and look, without having the stat here, in terms of quarterback wins, he's like third or fourth since he entered the league. He has 2
Second.
division titles under his thing, and he was a fourth
So weak
round
division,
player.
though.
Okay, tied for second. Tied for second with Russell Wilson. I know you like throwing that 8-8 stat, but tied for second with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has his money. I'm not saying Dak is there, but let's look at 2 of his draft mates, Jared Goff and Carson Wentz.
That's the one that everybody's going to cite.
Well, that's what they have to
Everybody's
be.
gonna cite.
Those guys have 110 and 107 million respectively. If Dak Prescott can reasonably say, look, I'm just as accomplished as those guys, I have to at least start a negotiation at
But
that
he's
point.
also
That's where you gotta look
doubling
at
down
it.
on the fact that again, 2021 is when that CBA deal has to be done.
I get
All right?
that. I get that.
So
There's
you
still-
can't make a deal that's based off of the old CBA and pull it into the new CBA.
Very
because
true.
Russell Wilson is going to become low money after this new CBA deal is in place. So if you're giving him less than that and he feels he's elite, then you are shortchanging yourself on what your worth is.
I feel as if there is a sentiment in Dallas with Cowboys fans that Dak Prescott, regardless of what the numbers might be, did
This
not
is
get
key.
them where he was supposed to take them. When you put it out there, and this is why I think the Cowboys put it out there, hey, we offered him $100 million. May not be the top dollar, may not be what he wants, but we were offering him $100 million guaranteed money. I assure you that among the fans, the Dallas Cowboys fans, if he's saying, no, that's not good enough for me, they're looking at it going, it should be good enough for you based on what you gave us last year. Numbers aside.
Hold on, wait, real quick too. And I've been in a situation before where an organization will let out what they want the fans to hear.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, when I was in Dallas, when I was
And
holding,
agents do that too.
Well, okay, when I was holding out, it was the conversation in Dallas about I didn't want to sign this deal, this 6-year deal.
Right.
We offered him this, but it wasn't where the market was at in regards to the 4th pick. So they started to form the opinions of the people in Dallas, not giving all of the facts. So when you talk about what the Cowboys
Yeah.
put out here, $100 million, and that, to your point, okay, let me read in between the lines of what's really in there that says that I get my money. And I'll give you this. The hardest thing for a player to do, a lot of times when you're dealing with strategy, is to fight back all the time. Sometimes you got to pick and choose your battle.
Like
when
marriage.
you come out and you negotiate with the team or with the public, all that is strategic. So right now, Dak and his people are saying, okay, it's just not fully, that number is maybe not the number. We're going to get into a little bit more, dissect that, but it's a cat and mouse game going on right now.
You're also talking about coaching, all right? We say 8-8. I told y'all earlier, the only thing that can come from dysfunction, right, is okay.
He knows about it from being with the Redskins.
It's the coach. The people who messed up the negotiation, it's not Dak. The Cowboys. The Cowboys could have had Dak Prescott at $20, $22, $23 million if they did the deal a year ago. By them waiting and waiting and waiting, the leverage has gone his, and now you're paying a ton more money.
Where's the leverage? Where's the leverage?
It's with the
Dak.
quarterback. It's
The
with
one,
Dak.
the one thing that makes me nervous, Todd Francis, his agent, Todd
Okay, so
with Aaron Dodd.
that's good enough on there. That's far enough on that. You know, I gotta applaud them because that was an incredible take with those guys. Now I want to remind you guys because this is deja vu to where we were just a year ago. Because a year ago, the Cowboys were about to put the franchise tag on D-Law, and it got to be ugly. You know, the Cowboys had said that, at the Combine, we started negotiating with D-Law, that we've given him an offer and things are good. In fact, before I go through here, let me make sure I go back to the exact quote. Because this is exactly the same thing. Oh, boy, where was it? Cowboys COO Stephen Jones on DeMarcus Lawrence. We made our offer. We're going to meet with his representatives here at the Combine, and I don't know about the timing, but I'm confident we'll get a deal done. And here it was. Later on, let's play the clip.
Seemed like, as DeMarcus Lawrence gets a franchise tag for the 2nd straight year, as everyone left Arizona, that they are not close to getting a deal done there.
They're working on it. They're actively negotiating, working on it, trying to get it done. And clearly this does not seem to be the case where, the Cowboys are, just wait until, July 11th to engage with DeMarcus Lawrence's agent, David Cannon, and then get a deal done. They've been exchanging proposals. They're working on it. It does sound like the latest offer from the Cowboys is in the $20 million per year range, which is at least where it should be for a pass rusher of his caliber. But they are at an impasse now. From what I'm told, they haven't negotiated for more than a week. The two sides haven't talked. A little bit of a stalemate here. Doesn't mean it's not getting done, but it means someone needs to overcome the hurdle where they're at right now in order to get one of the best players on the Cowboys locked up long term. And the clock is ticking because they got a couple other big-time contractual priorities to get to after this.
And, one of the things that they said would be part of the deal would be DeMarcus Lawrence getting his shoulder done, that unless he got his shoulder done, they weren't going to do the deal. Well, they ended up paying more than the $20 million. And so
expectation coming.
This is typical when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. And as Bucky Brooks put it, who do you have to blame on this contract situation? You got to blame the Dallas Cowboys, because I said last year the clock was ticking waiting for Russell Wilson. Well, the clock is ticking right now with Pat Mahomes, and you need to go ahead and get this thing done and put to bed. But understand the key things. There's a couple of key things in here that I really and truly loved hearing. Was one of the things, and it's just like there's 3 sides to every argument. There's your side, there's my side, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth. And none of us ever give out the whole picture. You're never going to put out any information that puts you into a bad light. You're always going to say, we offered $100 million, guaranteed to Dak, and he turned it down. Well, is that $100 million equal to what other people are being paid on it? We know that Jared Goff is 110. We know that Carson Wentz is 107. And when you look at the franchise tag, 2 years of the franchise tag currently would be 72. So in retrospect, if you're talking about me being tagged for 3 years, well, that would actually be more than $100 million. So what you're really saying is yeah, at a 3-year deal, we'll guarantee 3 years. You're talking about less than what the franchise tag price would be. And unfortunately, because the Cowboys waited, that's where you got to start it all off at. You got to look at a minimum of 33 a year. So, like it or leave it, love it or hate it or whatever, it's all business that's being run. So I'm going to get this up here, and then we'll see what we're going to see. They did an update for the test camera for the Mevo that I have. Now it's supposed to work into my live stream studio software, and I may do a little test stream a little bit later and see how well it looks with the other two Mevos in coordination together. As always, friends, I want to thank you all for commenting, watching. Oh, one other thing. I'll get to that later. I'll talk to you later.